Hello, and welcome to the English Funcast podcast, episode 13. I'm your host, Ron, and how are you doing today? Me, I'm doing amazing. Don't forget to go to www.englishfuncast.com and register in the forum and post a joke up with a contest, and the winner gets a free Skype lesson with me. And you also get to build up the forum, like people can talk and build a community there where you guys can practice your English writing and write questions, and I'll answer your questions on the forum. So go there now. Alright, well, let's start with today's jokes. Alright, so the first joke is: a judge looked severely at a defendant and asked, "How many times have you been imprisoned?" "9, Your Honor." "9? In this case, I will give you the maximum sentence." "Maximum sentence?" said the defendant. "Don't you give your regular clients a discount?" Alright, so this is about a prisoner who's in jail, and a person who is being accused, who's in jail or in court, he's called the defendant, and the person who is trying to put him in jail is called the prosecutor. Someone who's been in jail before, it means that he was imprisoned before. So the judge asked, "How many times were you imprisoned before?" And the guy was in prison 9 times. And remember, when you go to court, hopefully you don't, because you don't do bad things, the judge, you don't call him judge, you must call him Your Honor. Alright, so the joke was, I'm going to give you the maximum sentence, right? So the judge gave him the maximum sentence. So maximum sentence means the longest punishment possible. If he said minimum sentence, it would have been the shortest punishment possible, right? So maximum means the longest or the most, and minimum means the least or the less. So the client said, "You're going to give me the maximum sentence? Don't regular clients get a discount?" Alright, that's pretty funny. Alright, next joke. A man was driving well above the speed limit when a police car suddenly emerged behind, sirens blaring. Thinking he'd outpace the cop, the man pushed his accelerator to the floor. His car's speed rose to 60, then 70, 80, and 90. Finally, the man thought, "What the heck?" and pulled over, ready to receive a speeding ticket. The police officer got out, leaned over the man, and said, "Listen, mister, I have had a really lousy day, and I just want to go home. Give me a good excuse, and I'll let you go." The man thought for a moment and said, 3 weeks ago, my wife ran off of a police officer. When I saw your car in my mirror, I thought you were that officer and you were trying to give her back to me." No ticket. Alright, so that's an amazing joke. That's pretty funny. Alright, so let's talk about some words in this joke. So a man that was driving above the speed limit. So driving above the speed limit is driving faster than the speed allowed. So limit is also like, you can see the maximum speed limit, which is the most speed that you can drive, or speed limit, right? Next would be sirens blazing. What does sirens blazing mean? You know those cop cars, and they have those lights, and it makes a noise. It goes brum 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 brum, or eew eew eew. I make amazing noises. So that means the sirens are blazing when the car makes those noises, right? So police cars do that, ambulances, fire trucks. Alright, and the next was when the cop was chasing him, driving behind him, the man tried to outpace the cop. So the word outpace is similar like to outrun. It basically means to go faster than the other person. So when let's say I am running with my friend, I can say I'm a much faster runner than him. I always outpace him in a race. Next thing was the officer said, "Just give me a good excuse, I'm having a really lousy day." So saying I'm having a lousy day means I'm having not a good day, I'm having a pretty bad day. So what was the excuse that the man made to the police officer? He said, "My wife, she ran away with a cop a couple of weeks ago. I thought you were that cop and you want to give her back to me." Yeah, sometimes you love your wife and sometimes they leave, but maybe you just want them back, you know? Alright, so here is the last joke for today. Annoyed wife to husband. "You can't say we've been married 24 years. Instead, what?" Alright, I'm gonna read that again. Annoyed wife to husband. "Can't you say we've been married 24 years instead of almost a quarter of a century?" What does that mean? Alright, usually when you speak with people, there's different ways that you can tell time. So 25, you can say I am 25 years old, or you can say I'm quarter of a century old. So a century is 100 years, so a quarter of a century is 1/4, so it means 25 years. So if you're 50 years old, you can say I'm 50 years old, or I'm half of a century old. But no one wants to use the word century in a sentence because you sound so much older. Like, I can say I'm 50 years old, which sounds okay, or you can say I'm half a century years old, which is like you sound much older. Or like if you're 100 years old, let's say you're 250 years old, so I can say I'm 250 years old, or I'm quarter of a millennium old. Then you sound really, really old. Millennium means 1,000 years. Alright, well, that's all we have for today's podcast. Don't forget to go to www.englishfuncast.com, register on the forum, leave a joke for the contest, and who knows, maybe you'll win a Skype lesson with me. I spoke yesterday with the winner. He's El Nino, I think his name is. He's from the Philippines. Super, super nice guy. I might actually record another episode, and I might actually put some of that podcast with him on it. Alright, guys, thanks for listening and take care. Bye bye.